Peace and love, everybody. This is your girl, Tysandra Barnes. And I'm coming back at you all once again to drop some more truth and to drop some more knowledge. It's becoming very clear that Chicago is one evil and one crooked place to live. With all this gun violence, with all these shootings, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Chicago ain't like what it used to be. You don't have nothing but a city full of demons now that's running loose out here. Killing people, robbing the elderly, raping and kidnapping women and young girls. I mean, this place has just become absolutely the pits now. I was born and raised on the south side of Chicago, but as I look at the changes of the city, people is really leaving here. The population is declining. We don't have any more city leaders. Taxpayers are steady raising taxes up on people's homes. The homeless rate is out of control here. The officials don't seem to give a damn. You got people running loose out here mentally ill. It's just absolutely ridiculous how the city has become. They put more money into other businesses and, they saying the hell with the poor on the lower west side and south side of Chicago. I mean, it just is absolutely ridiculous. And no one seemed to care. No one is doing a damn thing to address nothing. All these city leaders and some of these church leaders, they scared now. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. All these shootings and how these people is dying out here with these guns and these police officers shooting down these young black men like dogs. And they full of shit too. They just killing just young men for absolutely no reason. All this conspiracy and covering up is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, even look, the young man that got killed on 71st and Jeffrey this past week. Shot the man 5 times. Okay, he might have had a gun, but at least he had a concealed weapon license. He didn't directly shoot them with the gun, but instead of them shooting them 5 times, they could have avoided that. It could have been another innocent life alive if they just would have took measure into their own hands in a proper way. And come to find out, the person that shot him not too long joined the police force. I mean, what the hell is they doing? They just hiring anybody on the police officers. Just shoot a nigga just to kill. And it's just absolutely ridiculous. How the Chicago Police Department is killing these young men down, and just leaving families once again left in grief. I mean, this is just absolutely ridiculous. The young man got shot on the porch, 53-year-old. All these young people and these older people getting shot like this is absolutely ridiculous. The woman who got shot this week getting carjacked. Bullet came through the back of the seat of the vehicle and struck her in the head. I mean, this city is running around with number demons and devils. And these folks don't seem to give a damn. These people still running around here with these guns. We still don't have educational programs. We still have problems with the gangs on the street. All this covering up and no one is seem to care. Everybody is just worried about putting money in their pockets and just saying the hell with the poor. It's just absolutely ridiculous. It's still hardly no jobs here. The cost of living is crazy. I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous. And I hear a lot of people say, I'm moving out of Chicago. I'm getting the hell away from there. I mean, in a way, can you blame them? Especially if you have kids coming up here. You can't even let your kids play outside because you got to worry about this nonsense. Another fool out here with a gun want to shoot, and then end up missing their target. Then you got to worry about the police harassing you, because of your skin color. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. These Chicago leaders, they not standing up for nothing. They not speaking up against nothing. They all say they for Chicago, but where the hell is they at? With all these gun violence and all these young people getting killed like this, where's they at? And then a young family that got family that's pending a lawsuit with the mother and the nephew, which was her son. That got killed in 2000, I believe, in 15 to 16. How they pending a lawsuit and how they took that money back. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. They saying a young man here who threatened him with a bat. Instead of shooting him, they could have resolved that situation. The police force in Chicago day and age always been crooked and always been out to harm and kill black folks. Just shooting them down. Instead of rectifying the situation in a better way. They just putting police officers on the street without no training. A lot of these people getting these guns, not thinking and just shooting niggas just down like dogs. in their mind what they think. And majority of these police officers is white supremacists that's involved in cults and that's involved in the Illuminati, collecting nothing but body parts and killing off one by one, and collecting the money. It just is absolutely ridiculous how the city has become with all this violence, with this negativity, with this mental illness, people walking around here. They close funding programs for that. No educational programs, no tutoring. The half of the schools is closed down. It's just a survival out here in the fittest now in this city. And it's just not here. It's all over. Within different cities, but I'm talking about Chicago. All these shootings is going on like this. I mean, when is going to be enough? Mothers is tired of losing their young boys and their young girls. It's more hard out here for the young black men, especially out here trying to work and go to school and do something. They think because they have a nice car and a nice home, they drug dealers. Some think, because he just got out of prison or jail, that, he's out there to commit another crime. Well, that's not necessarily true. Most of these young men who did they jail and prison time just out here want a better life, and that's trying to make a change. But hell, it seems like you're more safer in the jail than walking these streets. A lot of them mess around and get shot because of these gangs, shooting and killing people for no reason. People just out here shooting just to be shooting. And little kids can't even play outside no more. I mean, the city of Chicago, whatever happened, how it just went down like this. All these people just stealing money, all these crooked mayors and politicians and school officials, they don't seem to give a damn. Especially when it comes in the lower black community, they not doing nothing to rebuild the black community. What money is they doing to fix up their areas? But it's not all about them as well. It's about us black folks. We have to stick together and just start building instead of tearing each other down, because we the ones dying out here. Why everybody running around here getting jealous and mean, they can put their money back into their community, but no, they just want to just mess it up with bullshit. Just absolutely ridiculous. All these shootings and all this violence going on out here. I mean, from what I see, I just really believe in the years from now, Chicago is not going to be no more left. We're going to steady see more people leaving, and it's pretty going to be much like another ghost town, which it already is, because a lot of people have left the city because of the crime and because of the nonsense. A lot of these folks do all this talking, but ain't doing shit to fix the problem. With all these crooked people, they need to get out of office. Just stealing funding and government money and ain't doing nothing to help the communities that really need it. It's just absolutely sad, how the city has went down like this. They charging all this money for people just to live here now, with homes and properties. I mean, people barely can eat out here. And then all these homeless people out here losing their homes and their jobs. I mean, this is just crazy. But nobody seem to give a damn, because everybody mostly is in this Illuminati within these groups and cults, killing each other off just to make a buck, setting up people to get robbed and murdered. And I just don't know what it's going to take, I mean, for one thing, the people need to come together and start getting involved in these prayer groups, and need to get involved more in the community. Some of these preachers need to quit hiding behind the pulpit and start getting involved in these communities, instead of worried about all getting money and stuff all the time. Get out here and get involved in your community, see what's going on with your brother and your sister. Ain't nobody being concerned about nobody no more. It's all about who gonna spend that money and who gonna do what. And then once they get the money, hell, they ain't doing nothing to fix the community. Half of that money is going in their pockets, to take care of them and their lifestyle. But, I just really pray that the city become a better place, more safer for the children, more educational programs, more businesses. Because as we look at the statistics, more blacks are moving out and more people from different countries is moving in. And we killing our own selves as black people, with nonsense and negativity. It ain't just the police officers and other people killing us. We killing ourselves with this bullshit, with guns and the violence, and so hateful towards one another. We don't want to look out for one another. It's eye for eye, and everybody is out for themselves. But I just wanted to come drop this words of truth to you all. People need to wake up and research Chicago, because this city always been crooked. It always been corrupted, with gangs and drugs and different things. And nobody don't even know, because nobody took the time to research and get information about the city. But if you look at it, Chicago is a no-go city. As you look at the word Chicago, it's a go city. You bound to go anytime. So people need to wake up and just start seeking truth and start reading, educating about themselves. Mothers, fathers, Get involved in your children's lives. Be role models to them, which they don't have out here. You know, teach your kids. Watch who your kids hang around with. Go to school with them. See what's going on. Because if you look up, your kid is probably gonna be the next one buried out here in these streets. Where's the truth?